Hey, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm talking with Ruan Potts, who'll be making his UFC debut against Soa Palelei, and that's going to be on May 8th, I believe it is, out in Cincinnati. So, Ruan, first and foremost, thanks for taking the time. I know it's, down to the wire and you got a lot going on, but thanks for taking the time today.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I've been on your show once before, and thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Well, first, I have to say you look leaner than I remember. What's going on?
Everybody's saying so. My weight's pretty much the same. Obviously picked up weight in the wrong areas, or maybe in the right areas. So,
yeah.
but yeah, still should be around 110 kilos. So yeah, I think it's just a bit leaner, and obviously put out muscle in different areas. So it's always a good thing, I think.
All right, I'm going to have to do the math. What's 110 kilos in pounds? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I think roughly 230, 235.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So
yeah.
It's interesting. You're going to be facing Soa Palelei. I want to know your thoughts on him. Certainly, obviously, people who have been watching him have their opinions on it. But what are your thoughts when you first got that matchup?
Yeah, obviously a huge dude, really a big guy. And, in all honesty, I think it's an awesome matchup for the simple reason he's obviously an up-and-comer in the UFC. He's been there a few years back, and now he's come back again, and he's on the up with two great victories in the UFC, and obviously he's a knockout specialist also. 10 of his last fights are TKO or KO. So yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with, and so am I. So
well,
in all honesty, I'm ready
with how he won though, because there was one of his fights that he got a bit of grief for, cardio-wise. Well, I'm just curious if you've been impressed with the way that he's won though.
Well, you can't really say, in all honesty, he did say he had an injury to the rib on the fight. I think it was Krylov, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So yeah, you can't really take away much from that, because in all honesty, if he was injured, that's benefit. Given the benefit of the doubt, maybe he was injured, so you can never underestimate any opponent, and most definitely not him.
Right. Well, before we really kind of get into strategy, I feel like people should know about you. I'll back it up a little bit. Joe Silva, I have mentioned your name to Joe Silva a lot. So you can ask him about it. And we were in, I want to say we were in, I don't know, Atlanta or somewhere recently. So I brought your name up to him again, and he said, well, actually, we've signed him. You know what I mean? So it was kind of great news. And he'd said he'd been talking to you for a little while. For those who don't know, you were the champion of UFC Africa. How did you make this transition? Because certainly that's a big deal to leave that organization as a champion and come over to the UFC.
Well, yeah. I mean, in all honesty, I was champion there from 2011 till 2014, pretty much. I did have the one defeat, on points. Was a 5-round decision, and but pretty much there was nobody else to compete with, and I started getting the same opponents over and over. I had to have a trilogy match with Andrew Fonsell, and so it's not that I wouldn't say the talent's there. I think the talent's on its way up. It's just that it wasn't ready when I was ready, because I had to wait at one stage almost 11 months for a title defense, basically, to defend my title. So that's too long. You get a bit of ring rust and stuff like that. So it's awesome, that I could get the opportunity to, be on the leading stage with the world's best athletes,
Absolutely. So how did that conversation go then? Is that, had your management reached out to Joe before? Or did, just kind of curious how the conversation even came up that, got you guys together?
Pretty much. I mean, in all honesty, the owner of the EFC actually, was in talks with Joe Silva and I forget the gentleman's name now.
Sean Shelby's the other matchmaker, but
no, I think he's in charge of Middle East and Africa.
Okay, yeah, okay. I know you're talking.
Yeah, so they've been speaking for quite a while, and yeah, so in all honesty, I've just been waiting, and just having to win fights. So yeah, it was a perfect opportunity and perfect timing. So it was great.
So those who don't know you, because certainly have you finished all of your fights? Is that how you've won all of them?
I have, yes. All my victories have been finishing. A lot of them in the first round, unfortunately, which is a good thing on one hand. But on the other hand, it doesn't give you much ring time. So,
right.
So yeah, I would like to get some more ring time, but, if the victories come quick, beggars can't be choosers. So.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just, trying to describe you to somebody, or, since it is your debut in the UFC, I mean, how do you like to be described, or what do you consider yourself? Would you say you're more of a striker? Are you more of a, ground and pound guy, more of a grappler? What would you say if I were to have to describe you?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, if it's the stand-up basis, where I come from basically is the Muay Thai section for stand-up. And for the ground, it's pretty much the BJJ section, Originally, obviously, I came from a judo background. I started at the age of 16. But judo on its own is not MMA, but it's a very good base to start with. So that combination is pretty much me.
Absolutely. Well, I know that coming over here this past week or so, you've been training with the Blackzilians down in Florida. What made you choose that camp? What kind of a relationship do you have with those guys?
Yeah, pretty much. I had the opportunity to go to spoke to a few people, and went along the right lines and stuff, and had the opportunity to come train with them, and most definitely, it's an eye opener. The level of the guys, you basically training with champions or ex-champions or champions to be, the whole lot, So, in all honesty, the coaches, the guys there, they've welcomed me, and they're a great bunch of guys, and of course, great talent also there. So, I really enjoying it, should I say.
Well, great. Well, I actually, yes, I'm pretty tight with those guys down there. So the other day I was talking to Kenny Monday about you, and he's the wrestling coach down there.
Yes.
And he had some really kind words. He said he thought you had a lot of talent, so he was really excited. But he also said he wished that you had come sooner, that he had more time to work with you. Is that something you think you could do? Maybe fully come over here and train in the States?
Most definitely. I mean, I didn't, as I said, I only basically had this opportunity quite late, probably like maybe 2 weeks ago or so. So I didn't really have the time to organize everything, but most definitely for my next fight, I'll definitely try to do a training camp up here. I'll come up here and train up here and then go directly to the fight. So my training camp will definitely be here. It's that level that I, you basically pick a place that you feel comfortable with and that you think's good, and I think they're great.
Yeah, they are great guys. So were you already in town when Rumble was fighting Phil Davis?
No. Yes. Was I in town?
Or maybe you got there just after.
I was probably on the plane or something.
Right. But he's already back. He's already back in the gym.
Yes, I saw him. I actually saw him at the gym. I was like, "Jeepers, it's like surreal," because he actually just won and just came back there. But he looks good. Yeah. Not even banged up or anything. So really good.
He's good. And well, Rashad is a good friend, and I know he's on the mend and everything. But certainly there's a lot of people, like you said, down there who are able to work with you and give you some of their knowledge. What have they said? Have they mentioned anything about Octagon jitters? Because from what I'm told, that's real.
But in all honesty, I'm sure that is real. I'll be able to tell you after the fight if it was real or wasn't. But that's one thing that I'm pretty good at, and I've been pretty good at so far. Touch wood. I'm good at pretty much, toning down the tempo and concentrating on the job at hand. So I've managed to, the EFC Africa, it's not as obviously as big as the UFC, but it's definitely is, you're talking probably 10,000 people, live audience that's watching you. So it is quite a big arena too. And you manage to switch off. And some people can't, but I've managed to do it. But this is a different scene, a different stage, and a different level of opponents. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and no pressure, but at this point too, you also have the entire country of South Africa rooting for you, and now you're carrying the torch because I believe you're the only South African in the UFC, right? Yeah,
well, it's a big step and
no pressure.
A lot of pressure. No pressure. No, it's. But it's, in all honesty, it is. At the end of the day, there has been South Africans in the UFC before, but they've never represented South Africa as such. You've had Trevor Prangley, for instance, that's been in there before. Yeah. Neil Grove, and Mark Robinson, who's actually my coach, from South Africa. He was the first South African ever. I think it was UFC 30. So so we've had them in there before, but not for many years. And I'm hoping to, the main thing is, for the last probably 10 years, there's not been a South African in there. So I'm hoping to fly the flag high and, I basically open the doors to other athletes, because I think that our guys are to a level that's definitely up and coming. But even some of them, it's good enough to actually be fighting in the UFC pretty much shortly.
Well, that's certainly one of the first things people would say is, well, yeah, okay, he's the champion over there, but wait till he gets here. It's a different level of competition. So what do you expect to be different about Soa Palelei that you haven't already seen? What kind of looks that he'll bring that you haven't quite seen yet?
Every athlete's a human being, and that's my philosophy on all sports. Everybody's beatable, otherwise there wouldn't be a sport. With regards to Soa, yes, he'll probably have less jitters than me. Mm-hmm. But in all honesty, Woody, maybe he's got more jitters. In all honesty, a South African, it's a no-name. He's just coming on the card. It could be, the how can I say, the thorn in his foot, because maybe I am good and he doesn't really know that. So the thing is, he's fighting a no rank on the UFC card. But in all honesty, if he loses against a no rank, how much pressure is that going to be on him? It's not going to be very good. So it's a jitters for both of us, I think. But yeah, he's also a cool and collected guy, and he's actually a very nice guy. It's actually weird. You're meant to have a good guy and a bad guy fighting each other. You've got two good guys fighting each other. So or nice guys, should I say? So yeah, it's a bit strange. But yeah, I've checked him out, and yeah, seems like a good guy. But at the end of the day, fight's a fight, match is a match, and this is our job.
Got to smash him, right? I mean, that begs the question, of course, do you like fighting someone that you don't like? Does that help you in preparation mentally or physically when you're fighting an opponent that you don't really care for?
Not really, no. At the end of the day, I know it's as nice as Soa Palelei is. I'm sure if he could take my head off, he'd take my head off. So, yeah, unfortunately, I've got to do the same and have the same mindset.
Right. And I noticed on your shirt you've got bad boy. That's something, people don't always recognize other leagues around the world. But you've been a bad boy guy for quite some time now, right? Yes.
I've been with bad boy probably for three to 3 years, maybe 4 years. And yeah, stuck with him, I was bad boy South Africa, and now I'm with bad boy international, so I'm keeping the bad boy name up.
Not bad. Ross Pearson, Alexander Gustafsson. I don't know. There's a couple of good guys.
There's a few guys wearing them, yeah.
So what's at this point of your fight week? We're basically, we're talking Sunday, just 7 days from now, basically Saturday night you'll be fighting. So what now? What do you do now? What do you kind of do to, keep your body fluid, but not, risk anything going wrong? What do you do this week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I generally used to always tone down probably 2 days before the time, even a day before. Mm-hmm. This time around, I think I'm probably going to tone down within the next few days, day or two, for the simple reason, it's a bit of jet lag. You probably got to get used to also, and I'm not too sure on the situation on fights. I've never fought with a time difference like that before. Yeah. I've trained over in Vegas before, but I've never fought, and been under the same situation. Right. So yeah, most definitely, I'm going to probably go for another day or two, just more stretching and just a bit of pad work, but nothing too serious. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in the flight from Florida to Cincinnati, that's going to be pretty easy for you.
Yeah, it's not too bad,
Well, and you bring up a good point. We met in Vegas. You were out there with Shaq Congo years ago, and it's been fun keeping an eye on you, and I've been very excited. Like I said, ask Joe Silva. He'd be like, all right, Karyn, stop talking about Ruan. So for me personally, it's exciting to see you, finally make it. Did you bring your family? I know your brother and your wife and everybody, they're all very, very tight with you in terms of your fight career. Are they coming?
No, unfortunately they're not coming. Maybe for the next one, definitely. I'll try getting them down here. But for this one, I'm all alone. So yeah, we'll see. But they'll all be watching. They'll be watching it live. So yeah, it's better that way. I don't really like my wife coming with, because I worry that she worries, Sure. At the end of the day, she loves it. She doesn't, but I feel stressed out, because if anything does happen, to either fighter, I feel bad for the families, So even if it's mine or if it's Soa's or whoever it is, so that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I can respect that. And it's tough, because I feel, if Wade were to fight, I would feel like if I knew he could do more than he's doing, that would be equally as frustrating as if I knew he wasn't executing his plan, as if he got hurt. It's a whole range of emotions for those who care about you to watch you do the work. So Let her stay home and relax. Will she follow Twitter, or will she actually buy the
No.
watch the fights?
She's bought it already.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she'll be watching it live.
Very nice. I do want to know rather what you think of the heavyweight division right now. Last night I was out, ran into Josh Barnett, had a talk with him about when he may or may not be fighting next. But I'm just kind of curious. Do you feel that that's a division in which you can make an impact quickly?
I'm hoping to. At the end of the day, there's a lot of guys that are actually very good that's in there now, and I see the UFC's actually signed a few new guys also. Some up and coming talent. So yeah, the division's still busy. And at the moment the people at the top are still good. You've still got
he's pretty good.
Yeah, just slightly good still. They're still keeping titles. So, so yeah, I mean you've still got your Cain Velasquez. There's a lot of injuries though. So yeah, that could be a positive,
right.
To a certain extent for myself, so that maybe I might be able to get more fights.
Yes.
But yeah, in all honesty, that's what we're here to do, and all I can do is, I said to all my my fellow countrymen and women, I can try my best. That's all I can do. That's all I will do is try my best. So.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to see you, and it's a long time coming. You've been doing a great job representing Africa so far, so I wish you continued success. And I'll be doing the weigh-in show on Fox Sports 1, or we might be on 2. I'm not sure. I don't always remember which channel, but but I'll be there, and I'll be sure to pipe in and when you're on the scale there and let people know some more about you. So best of luck again, and thanks for taking the time, Ruan. We'll see you on Fight Night.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Karyn, and thanks again for the support you guys always show. Thanks.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.